6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says Pakistan is proud of being one of the largest contributors to the UN peace missions. Government has vowed to continue to tread path of reforms to stabilize economy. 16,000 intending Hajj pilgrims have reached Medina through 60 flights in last 6 days. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops have launched a massive coordinated search operation to harass people. The United Nations has warned a serious threat of food security in Yemen. Sixth unofficial one-day international between Pakistan Shaheens and Zimbabwe Select is underway in Harare. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says Pakistan is proud of being one of the largest contributors to the peace missions under the United Nations umbrella. In a tweet today, the Prime Minister said 8 Pakistani peacekeepers were honored posthumously on the completion of 75 years of the UN peacekeeping mission. He said Pakistani soldiers have rendered excellent services, including sacrificing their lives in the most complex and dangerous conflict zones. Shehbaz Sharif said, "We are proud of our peacekeepers for their unprecedented commitment to duty." Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said the nation has set a red line, that the attitude reflected on May 9th is intolerable. In a tweet today, he thanked the people of Pakistan for their active participation in the solemn observance of Yawm-e-Takreem Shuhada Pakistan. It was a collective outpouring of gratitude for our Shuhada and Ghazis by the whole nation. The Prime Minister said living nations uphold the honor and dignity of their benefactors and heroes who rendered the supreme sacrifice of their life so that their countrymen can live peacefully. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said steps are being taken to ensure public relief in the upcoming budget. Talking to Minister of State for Aisha Pasha in Lahore today, he said, "We brought the economy out of difficult situation to stability." The Prime Minister was appreciative of the economic team's efforts to stabilize the economy regardless of all the difficulties. Shehbaz Sharif recalled that a big relief package was given to the flood victims in the wake of unprecedented floods in the country. The Prime Minister said steps are being taken to ensure that the benefit of reduction in petroleum prices reaches the common man. The Minister of State briefed the Prime Minister about the progress on the next budget, public relief and overall economic situation of the country. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said providing equal development opportunities and dignified employment to the youth is the top priority of government. He was talking to Special Assistant on Youth Affairs Shahzad Fatima in Lahore today. The Prime Minister said sports activities are also being organized along with the provision of facilities of international standard in the realm of education and skills. Alluding to the recent inauguration of the 34th National Games in Quetta, the Prime Minister said it was heartening to see the youth participating in positive activities. The government has vowed to continue to tread the path of reforms to stabilize the economy and steer it towards sustainable growth. In a statement today, the Minister of Finance pointed out that Pakistan has undertaken deep-rooted reforms over the last 9 months. These included market exchange rate, interest rate adjustments, mid-year taxation to improve fiscal position, imposition of levy on petroleum products, and non-monetization of fiscal deficit. Advisor to Prime Minister on Political and Public Affairs, Amir Muqam, says the government is committed to provide better facilities to people at their doorstep. Talking to media in Savar today, he said PMLN government always launched for the welfare of the public. He said the present government has launched various developmental projects in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to facilitate the masses. Over 16,000 intending Hajj pilgrims have reached Medina through 60 flights in last 6 days. Radio Pakistan's correspondent Javed Iqbal reports from Medina that 3,000 intending Hajj pilgrims will reach Medina through 11 more flights today. According to Director Hajj Medina, Pakistani intending Hajj pilgrims have been accommodated in 33 different hotels in Medina. The intending pilgrims will start moving to Makkah after completing their 8-day stay in Medina. On the special instructions of Minister for Religious Affairs Talha Mahmood, a high-level monitoring team of the ministry led by Joint Secretary Arshad Farid Khan also arrived in Medina today. This is Radio Pakistan. In Gilgit-Baltistan, at least 10 people have been killed and 26 others injured in a snow avalanche on Shantur Pass in Astor district. According to Deputy Inspector General of Police for Diamar Astor Division, Tufal Mir, a control room has been set up in the district to facilitate rescue operations and recover people from under the debris. Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif has expressed a deep sorrow and regret over the loss of precious lives in Astur district. He directed to provide best medical aid to the injured. Gilgit-Baltistan Chief Minister Khalid Khurshid Khan has also expressed grief over the incident and instructed local authorities to initiate rescue operations. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops have launched a massive coordinated search operation in Kishtwar district of Jammu region, subjecting the residents to severe harassment. According to Kashmir Media Service, the troops laid a siege around Chirji, Chicha, Padrayana and other areas of the district and launched searches. The locals said that the troops barged into their houses and terrorized the inmates, including women and children. Acting Prime Minister of Afghanistan, Maulvi Abdul Kabir, has said his government wants positive relations based on mutual respect with the world community. Addressing a meeting of the local leaders and tribal elders, he said he desires to have relations on mutual respect with all nations in the region and around the world in light of Islamic Sharia. Maulvi Abdul Kabir replaced Mullah Hassan Akhund on 18th of this month. In Turkey, a runoff vote will be held tomorrow to elect the president after no candidate was able to reach the 50% threshold in the first round held on 14th May. The voting will begin tomorrow at 8 a.m. local time and end at 5 p.m. More than 60 million people are registered to vote, including 4.9 million first-time voters. A total of 191,885 ballot boxes have been set up for voters in the country. China has announced to make concrete efforts for a political situation to the Ukraine crisis. This was announced by China's Special Representative for Eurasian Affairs, Li Hui, who held delegation-level talks with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Moscow. Special Envoy Li Hui said China has always adhered to an objective and fair position on Ukraine, argued for peace and promoted talks. The United Nations has warned a serious threat of food insecurity in Yemen. According to a report from a World Food Programme and the UN Children's Fund, 17 million people are still grappling with food insecurity in Yemen. It said approximately 2.8 million people are expected to face crisis-level hunger. In the sixth and the last unofficial one-day international against Zimbabwe select in Harare, Pakistan Shaheens were 129 for 3 in 21 overs a short while ago. Batting first, Zimbabwe select scored 385 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 50 overs. Earlier, Pakistan Shaheen won the toss and elected to field. Zimbabwe led the series 3-2. And finally, the weather report. Wind, dust, thunderstorm and rain with hailstorm at a few places and isolated heavy falls is expected in Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir and adjoining areas during the next 12 hours. However, hot and dry weather is expected elsewhere in the country. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.